Trump, quote, has failed us, unquote, says Major Jason Watson. Sailor jumps USS Lincoln, USS Benfold loses power for days. America is through. First and foremost, I want to give all the honor, glory, and praises to the Most High Yahawah and His only begotten Son, YAHAWASHI, whom the world ignorantly called Jesus, because the letter J in the English alphabet did not exist 2,000 years ago. Double honors to my elders at Great Millstone, talking this truth through the Spirit. Single honors to the elect. Peace and bless to the 1/3 and to the confusion of faces in the four corners of the earth, because there's no such thing as a black Hebrew Israelite. All right, you can scatter all over the world, so we can damn near look like anybody. That's why you have to try the Spirit by the Spirit. But nonetheless, though, getting right into it, just an update on pretty much America military is crumbling and it's falling apart. I would say tactically and morally, or mentally, people are breaking, and now even the citizens are starting to speak up against their commander in chief. So, with that being said, Trump has failed us. U.S. Airman says he accepts cost of speaking out against Iran war. Follow my name. Not only is he a failure as president, he is flagrantly violating the Constitution, breaking the law, engaged in rampant corruption. It's the gentleman up here too that you see on the screen, and it's unaliving Americans, and that is unacceptable to me. And understand violating the Constitution. You know, breaking the law. Pretty much, Trump does what he wants, and it insists of it being like a quote unquote executive order, and engaging in rampant corruption. You already know about the Epstein files. So many accounts that he had bankrupted, coming from a billionaire father. It's crazy. He's a trust fund baby, and he is unaliving Americans. I mean, hell, even what ICE is doing, you're literally unaliving Americans as well here. And what you're doing with the military person now across seas also is an indication of what you're doing. Okay? Major Jason Watson participation in a protest organized last month by the Removal Coalition, a group that calls for President Donald Trump's impeachment, wasn't his first foray into speaking out against the commander in chief. He spent 22 days last year on a hunger strike, staying anonymous by wearing a white mask and white jumpsuit on the U.S. Capitol grounds next to a sign that read, "Impeach, Convict, Remove." And I think that's right. I think that's right. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Trump is the only sitting president that has, well, committed a crime that was a felony, and he's still president. Wow. But the U.S. Airman spoke Monday about what pushed him last month to go public with his protest against Trump's unprovoked war on Iran, displaying the same sign at a news conference organized by Removal Coalition, where he wore his Air Force uniform and was identified by name. Now, that's a heavy move. That's a chess move, because before, when you're out, people don't know who you are. They just see you as a civilian, mask on, all white suit on, all white, not suit, all white, yeah, some kind of uniform or whatever. And they don't know who you are. You're holding a sign that says, what, impeach, convict. What was it? What was exactly what it said? I forgot what it said. What it said? Impeach, convict, remove, right? But now you out there with your full gear on. They know you're in the Air Force. That's different. And he says it right here, because he wore his. It says right here, he wore his Air Force uniform and was identified by name, so he wasn't a coward about it. If I don't put myself out there in a big way, it's just noise. Watching CNN and Burnett. We can change what is happening in our country if we're just willing to pay a price for it. Well, sir, I got bad news. Job 14:5. Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bound that he cannot pass. With that being said, Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows it. Whatever change you're thinking about making is not going to be for the better, because America's mystery whore Babylon the Great and the transatlantic slave trade that occurred globally is also in the Bible, Deuteronomy 28th chapter. And the Lord said his people will go into slavery on ships, and they will be sold to their enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no one will save you. No one has come to save us yet. This place is going down, and it was going up in flames, but it's going down right now. Yes. So, continuing. His public dissent against the broadly unpopular war could violate Article 88 of the Uniform Code of Military Justice, which mandates punishment against any commissioned officer who uses contemptuous words against the president, military leaders, or U.S. government officials, or Article 134, which prohibits statements made with the intent to promote disloyalty or disaffection. I was trying to talk and yawn at the same time. Salakia, that sounded weird. Disloyalty, Salakia, or disaffection toward the United States. Air Force Secretary Troy Meek has said the military is investigating the protests. Watson could face dishonorable discharge and loss of military pay and months in prison for violating the Uniform Code. Once you will join the military, you technically don't have any constitutional rights anymore. So the First Amendment really don't even apply to you. I can say whatever I want about Trump as long as I don't threaten him, right? Or any military official, because I'm not under that Uniform Code. I didn't sign away my nature. Hence, my signature aren't on any forms where I relinquish my rights as a civilian. So yeah, he could be dishonorable charge and all the other kind of shit. But it's at the point where even your military personnel are like, yo, man, get this guy out of here. The same men and women that put themselves on the front line. Yeah, I said women. They put themselves on the front line to protect democracy. But I digress. With that being said, with him saying he's willing to take a chance, 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 16. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, in the course of their actions shall stand in their power. He's not regarding his king, which is his commander in chief, which is Donald Trump. King, president, emperor, it's all the same. Pharaoh, you're just the head of the people. You're the head of the nation, of the populace. That's what it means. You're the monarch. Okay? Now, think about what's going on with the military on these ships. All right, soldiers on USS Abraham Lincoln attempt to jump overboard amid lengthy deployment. All right, the ship's doctor or therapist said they need to hit port soon, or people are going to start, losing their minds. A woman with a stepson on the ship said, "Wow." The U.S. Abraham Lincoln has been deployed for over 250 days, despite an initial 7-month deployment schedule. Oh, that remind me of a precept. Hold on. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 33. The virgin shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. The women shall mourn, having no husbands. The daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. In the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. And the reason why I brought that out, because I remember the elders said this years ago, when they kept talking about what's going to happen in the Middle East, which is happening right now, which is why the Bible is so true. They kept saying, your sons and your daughters, once they get shipped out, they're not coming back home. They're not coming back home. And what I'm saying is, these people were supposed to be deployed for 7 months. All right. And they've been gone for 250 days. Let me do some math. All right, so let's just say there's 30 days in the month. Let's just say that. 7 times 30 is 210 days. So they've been out there an extra almost going on 2 months, so to say. A month and a half or so. An extra month and a half. So when your mind is set to be somewhere else and you still where you are, yeah, that could mentally F you up, especially when you away from family and friends for over half a year. Come on. It said the reports detail poor living conditions on the ship, including water contamination, broken toilets, and food shortages. This ain't even the one that was stranded, if I'm not mistaken. People just having mental health issues on this one. You see what the war is doing to the people? Right here. It says on August 3rd, a sailor went overboard from the ship and was rescued within an hour. 3 U.S. officials told CNN. One of them said the sailor had gone overboard while wearing a life vest and wasn't injured. However, they added that it was due to struggles with mental health. So it wasn't like he was just, at a rail and slipped. Oh, nah. He went overboard. He wanted to go home. All right. The sailor had been assigned to an air wing on the ship, one of the officials said, adding that they were recovered by an air wing search and rescue helicopter, treated by Abraham Lincoln's medical department, and transferred off ship for follow-on care. Yeah, people freaking breaking, man. The report comes amid a lengthy deployment for armed forces on board the aircraft carrier. The USS Abraham Lincoln left the naval base in San Francisco on November 21st, 2025, so even before the war broke off in Iran. It has been deployed more than 250 days, despite initially being scheduled for a 7-month deployment. Man, oh man. And I'm going to go to the next article and I'm going to close out. Like I said, I didn't want to make this long, but the U.S. military is falling apart. U.S. Navy destroyer spent 4 days last month without any power and navigational abilities in Southwest China Sea, and no one knows why yet. Now, the last article is from the USS Lincoln. This is from the USS Benfold. All right, the USS Benfold, a guided missile destroyer in the U.S. Navy, recently spent 4 days drifting in the South China Sea. We ain't got no business being over there. Without power or the ability to navigate. According to CNN, this incident, which occurred last month, left the nearly 10,000-ton warship without essentials like functioning toilets, air conditioning, and galley services. The U.S. 7th Fleet confirmed that the ship suffered an engineering failure on July 24th while conducting routine operations. And that just goes to show that America is on its last leg and there ain't nothing you can do about it. And the Lord is making it to where they're beefing against one another. Remember, America is Babylon, Assyria, Egypt, Sodom, because everything that, because Esau doesn't have a heritage, remember that. So everything that you see in America, America is a melting pot of all cultures on the face of the freaking earth. You can't find a more multicultural spot in our galaxy. Now, let me not say that because we don't know what's out there. But you know what I mean, right? Amongst us humans on Earth, this planet, Gaia, whatever you want to call it, right? So, I'm going to bring this out and I'm going to close out. Isaiah 19:2, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. America spiritually saw them in Egypt, right? So America is against America. You see what's happening with ICE? You see Major Jason Watson, what he's saying about the president. He out there in full uniform and everything. What a sign. He said, I don't give a damn what happens. You got soldiers wanting to jump ship. They ready to go home, having mental health crisis, water contaminated. And you also got soldiers that was stranded for 4 days out in the South China Sea. That how you going to war, yo? You generated breakout, so now you need foreigners to help you. That's wild, yo. Let me read this again. Let me close out. Isaiah 19:2. Now I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. And that's gonna happen to this day. All right. So with that being said, I truly pray y'all was edified, fed, stay in the spirit, don't fear it, just endure it. Ask for forgiveness, pray without ceasing, stay humble, remain diligent, promise Allah, much like a ball. Shalom.